Just when we were praising Shea Theodore, for not turning over the puck on Friday's show, he coughs up the puck in overtime on Sunday. Nikita Kucherov finishes the game at 2-on-1 for Tampa Bay. VGK with a lot of turnovers this weekend. Only one goal on the road in 2 games. We'll tell you more ahead on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Start of a new week. Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. We appreciate you making us your first listen every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast. Of course, I am a longtime sportscaster, a marketing consultant, and the host of the new Believe in Vegas podcast. Chris is the owner of Silver State Cards and Sports and the host of the new The Hockey News Collectibles Show, starring Chris Golick. Coming up ahead on today's show, we're going to be having a lot of conversations about both weekend games. Later on, we'll talk about the Florida shutout. And we will also talk about the Carter Hart signing and crickets from VGK's social media. And a reminder that you can catch us now daily on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. Tune in Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock on YouTube TV, and also Channel 77 Sunset Strip on Cox Cable. I'll be on today, by the way, with Mike Davis at 12 noon, so you might want to check that out. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com. Nikita Kucherov, Chris, scores the game winner 33 seconds into the extra period, and Tampa Bay prevails. And it sends VGK reeling for a second loss this weekend in the Sunshine State. Weren't we just applauding Shea Theodore on the show on Friday? I was thinking about this for his lack of turnovers, protecting the puck. And, well, he did have the decisive turnover yesterday in the extra period, and it turned out to be a costly one. Brendan Hagel took it away with only Jack Eichel back. He threads the needle to Kucherov, Nikita Kucherov, and that was it. Spoils the day for Carl Lindbaum, the rookie in his first start. Lindbaum, 26 saves on 28 shots. He's a regular Paul Skeens with no run or goal support.
Lindbaum looked the part. If there's an important takeaway from the trip to Florida in general, it's Carl Lindbaum. And Schmidt was okay. We'll talk more, obviously, about the Panthers game in the second segment. But Lindbaum looked the part, looked comfortable. The goals he gave up, just bang, bang goals. Lost battle in front, and then obviously the Shea Theodore turnover at the end. Coach Cassidy's remarks, I think, were spot on. He made all the saves he should have, and probably a few he shouldn't have. That's a perfect way to have a long and financially lucrative NHL career.
Quit it with the bad ice. Alrighty, here we go. Here we go again. Not an excuse, as we know. VGK, well, you have to come up with some excuses, I suppose. If
the ice is always bad in Florida, to be fair.
And of course, the humidity. Yes, it's always bad. Prepare for it, folks. VGK with the scoring drought, just one goal over the course of 2 games, went 17 minutes on Sunday without a shot on goal and had 8 shots through 2 periods. Wound up with 19 shots on net. I've said it before. I think this is a team, to be successful, they have to have at least 30, let's say 30 quality shots on net for them to be victorious. That's the way I feel.
High danger chances is always what I go to before I even look at shots on net and things like that. And for the weekend, it was 7 high danger chances in each game for the Golden Knights to the 10 of the Tampa Bay Lightning and 19 of the Florida Panthers. So on the trip, 14 high danger chances for Vegas, 29 against by the state of Florida. That's not going to win you too many hockey games.
The entire state of Florida, he quotes. Of course, it is Marner Monday, and I wonder if Mitch Marner is injured or something. Something's amiss. Something's off there.
Today's a spa day for him.
Well, he remember he got really hit hard in the Carolina game, I believe, and went down to the ice hard. Remember, there was no penalty call, and yesterday, no shots on goal. It is Marner Monday. What are your thoughts on Mitch Marner, and why don't they move him up to the top line?
He got blown up yesterday in one shift.
That's right. Yesterday too. Yeah.
Not the greatest weekend. I mean, listen, every superstar is going to go through this. Eichel's been dry in Florida. Marner's been dry in Florida. It's going to happen. It's part of the season. And you just wonder on the napkin are we concerned about the lack of scoring right now? That might be a Tuesday or Wednesday segment. We'll see how the week goes. But is this just something that happens or part of a bigger picture? That's yet to be determined. Coach Cassidy was spinning the dials, messing with line combinations in both games and everything. So he was doing what he could. But, sometimes you just you turn the engine, it doesn't start. You crank, you pull the cord on the lawnmower, it doesn't start. That's hockey, Tony. There you go. That's hockey.
Yes, and as you mentioned, Cassidy did put the lines in a blender there in the third period yesterday. And you said on the show last week, we talked about on Friday, I guess, we talked about the return of Howden. You said he should play on the top line with Eichel.
He's an option. He's an option.
Well, we saw him yesterday out there, in the third period. Yes, that's a good way to put it, spinning the dials, because he panicked. He does panic sometimes. He really does. And, well, I would have panicked too if this team's not putting shots on net. Go ahead.
No, see, it's not panicking. I mean, when you get shut out against Florida, and it's not just a shutout, it's the fact that you're not generating high danger chances while not defending high danger chances. So moves got to be made. That's part of being a coach. And I'm glad that, we have a Coach Cassidy leading the Vegas Golden Knights, someone who's going to not just sit there. At times it doesn't necessarily make sense. I still got to go back to the Stanley Cup season where he benched the entire top line for like 8 minutes to Marchessault, Eichel, and I don't know if it was Barbashev at the time, whoever it was. But Cassidy pulls no punches when it comes to that. If your line's not performing, he'll bench you. If he feels the need to make a big in-game move, he certainly will. And Brandon Saad's moment in the sun, no pun intended, being in Florida, looks like it's kind of come and gone. And that's another one for the napkin probably at some point.
He almost hit the sun there with that. Of course, he put the puck over the boards there and got called for a delay of game there in Florida. It was Dominic James. That sequence, man, so they target Marner. Again, shut down the top line or shut down the top six for VGK, and I think you're in business. And I said on the show last week that VGK would need to prevail, secondary scoring or scoring by defensemen. No one scores, of course, none of the above. The lone goal by William Karlsson this past weekend. Karlsson, the only goal. VGK 0 for 9 on the power play since the departure of Mark Stone.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's not just Mark Stone leaving. It's also the domino effect. Shea Theodore goes to the quarterback. Mitch Marner becomes the bumper / elbow / behind the net option. So you almost wonder if it's better to keep Marner up in that QB spot and run another forward out there. Just, put a William Karlsson out there. And the goal that Karlsson scored was nice. Not that it was Karlsson finishing off the goal, which is always fun. But that was VGK hockey. Just a very standard breakout turns into a quick, not even an odd man rush, just a real quick transition play, and kind of caught the defense flat-footed. And you didn't see a lot more of that, and you didn't see enough of that. One note that I had on my napkin here, Colton Sissons was out probably the last 10 or 12 minutes of the third period against Tampa.
The first period, I think.
It was the first period. My bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can agree that Colton Sissons missed an extended period of time. Now going to farther test the VGK bottom six, bottom three depth there.
Yeah, that we'll talk more about that, of course, previewing the game.
Recovered for the week again, Tony. Recovered for the week again.
Kolasar, a fight early, so contrived. He's trying to pump up the VGK, but it's, I don't know, man. Like, he got a couple of his patented uppercuts in, so we'll give him credit for that. And 2 goals were taken off the board for the Lightning. One goal, the goal that went off of the ref.
Yep.
I'm sure that's happened to you before when you were reffing games.
Oh, no, because I'm never in position to be anywhere near the net, so I'm safe.
Okay, and the other was appealed by Cassidy for offsides, and it was definitely offside. So,
well, I want to know who they called offsides on, because you had Hagel, who looked like he was ahead of the play, and then Kucherov looked like he didn't fully possess the puck going across.
He wasn't possessing the puck.
I mean, that was an easy one. I think it was like, okay, this one's pretty close, that one's pretty close. Just call it no goal and don't overthink it.
we weren't homers in that situation. That was the right call.
Yeah.
Coming up next, our takeaways or VGK's giveaways from the Florida game on Saturday. That was a mess. Coming up next on Locked On Golden Knights. The NBA is definitely back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than at FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the association. So even if you missed the start of the game and you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. And I don't know if you've noticed there, Mr. Golick, but the totals have just gone bonkers in the NBA. Even the Lakers-Sacramento game went over last night without Doncic. Of course, no LeBron James, and it still goes over, way over. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at even a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making the late push. And right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head on over to FanDuel.com. You can sign up. You can play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the National Basketball Association. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights from Las Vegas, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting. Appreciate you making us your first listen every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast. Make sure you check us out on TV. A lot of folks are there on SSSEN, Cox Cable Channel 77. Yeah, the totals in the NBA have gone up tremendously in the first week. So like they were in the 200 and teens, and now it's a standard every game, like almost 230 or more, 230, 232, 235. Insane, right?
The league has, I'll put it nicely, been changing since the good old days.
The league has been changed.
It's a skills competition.
There's no defense, let's face it. So VGK broadcast, I got to talk about this. There's always a narrative around here. There's always a stink. Yesterday, bad ice. The game, of course, in South Florida against Florida on Saturday. They're blaming the 4 days off this week and the long travel to South Florida. They went into Florida like a day early. Like, come on. The Panthers, we said, were starting to get into their rhythm and their flow. According to Paul Maurice, we talked about that on Thursday on the show. The Panthers allowed only 17 VGK shots on goal, season low. Cassidy saying VGK didn't shoot the puck enough, and had more giveaways than shots on goal. You never see that.
That's bizarre, and that's the 19 high danger chances, I guess, at work right there. I mean, geez, what are we talking here? Tampa's 26th overall in the league, and Florida is 15th overall, and that's because they got, basically 4 out of 4 points against the Golden Knights. Otherwise, both those teams would have been a little bit lower down. Went quickly through. I watched the Florida game a lot closer than the Tampa game, and just there was no fire, nothing in that Florida Panthers game
Sunday,
at all.
Same thing Sunday. Exactly.
Going through the visualizer, just watching the 3 goals, there's a commonality: sleepy defense. Korzak can't, he lets the player get behind him, and Schmidt. We're like Schmidt was like paddling down for using his glove, like pushing down. That was just a strange. I'm not blaming Schmidt for that. It was just a strange visual. And then the other commonality is White Cloud out there for a giveaway and can't win a battle in front of the net in 2 separate occurrences. And
2 games in a row. You hit it on right there on the nose.
We praised White Cloud. I want to be clear before some Yahoo out there is going to start saying all we do is drag White Cloud and things like that. White Cloud stats and measurable. The visual of White Cloud has been concerning, but the stats have supported he was one of VGK's best defensemen before the trip down to Florida. And this was not a good 2-game run for Zach Whitecloud.
I just remember from that game on Saturday. So I was at the HBCU game over at Allegiant Stadium. Super great event. Bands were super. I just remember
a lot of people too for that. A lot of people in the stands for that. A lot of people. I saw.
It was great. They said 20,000,
yeah.
And the fans stayed all weekend. There were just so many events. I ran into some at Caesar's Palace yesterday. Just really amazing. But I remember the Panthers scoring. The second period, their second period possession that just absolutely crushed VGK. It was over a minute. They had the clock there. up on the screen. Over a minute of offensive zone time for the Panthers, and the Panthers attacked and suffocated VGK defensively as they did the entire game. And then the great VGK, former Golden Knight Cole Schwindt, breaks through with that goal. Massive.
Yeah, I don't know where I was at when I saw that, but I looked at the sheet. I'm like, oh, that just friggin' figures. But again, that particular goal, this is where you got White Cloud just basically this is where he coughs up behind the net, right?
Well, no, okay. So his back.
This is the long possession. I see this one.
Yeah, his back was turned in front of the crease. He's scrambling for the puck. I get it, but why would he turn his back? And oh man.
Yeah, no, it's the wraparound. No, that's the Greer goal. The Greer goal was the wraparound where Schmidt might have been a little bit sleepy.
He was.
Hutton does his job on the Cole Schwindt goal, gets it to Hutton or gets it to White Cloud, and then just coughs it up, and Schwindt just is there for the cookie. So I mean, listen, this is not a good weekend at all. Not a good defensive weekend. Not enough on the offensive side, and not a lot of rest. Obviously, they're going to Carolina next
Tuesday.
Yes. Okay, no, I'm about 80% sure. They're going to Carolina next. The Golden Knights did fare well against them last couple Mondays ago in Vegas, and you wonder how this one's going to go. Is it going to be another lackluster effort? Is it going to be 7, high danger chances to somewhere in the teens for the Hurricanes, or can the Golden Knights find a way? And I'd be remiss if I wouldn't say I kind of hope they bring Lindbaum out there again.
Yeah, no, that I was thinking the same exact thing. Why not?
I don't think it's going to happen, but I think it'd be really cool if they did.
I would. He really stood up, and
you got the family still out there and everything, I guess. And people were ripping on the VGK broadcast. I guess they kept showing the family all game because there's nothing else to show out there.
Yeah, the entire family was there.
Listen, great story.
Jonah Gadovich and Jeremy Lazan, those two, they danced a little bit, but we're going to see more in the rematch coming up because Lazan and Gadovich took exception to a hit to the head of Lazan hits Gadovich in the head, and then
that was a dirty hit, I think, and
it was
that
a
got
nasty,
missed.
dirty hit. Yes, and
not a suspendable, like nothing stupid like that, but that was definitely like I in real time. I'm like, okay, no big deal, and then I saw Lazan. I'm like, okay, let's take a closer look at this, and Lazan knew what he was doing there. He knows where that line was, and that's the type of hit you will answer for.
Yeah, so we'll see that in the rematch coming up early next month for sure. And VGK now has lost the last 5 games in Florida, lackluster at best. Brady McNabb called it a full court press, and they did. I mean, VGK couldn't get off any shots. They couldn't move. They couldn't get the entries through the neutral zone.
Let's change gears, Tony. Let's change gears. What's the positive takeaway from this Florida trip besides Lindbaum? And I don't have an answer for you, to be clear.
I don't. I was just going to say Lindbaum Gadovich. He punched William Karlsson in the face twice.
Oh, okay, that's your positive takeaway. I mean, it would have been nice to see in times of both games.
I want to see Karlsson fight. I want to see a fight. That's all I'm asking for.
It would have been nice at some point over this weekend to see VGK get to their identity, to at least just see moments when, okay, this is the VGK team that we're used to, even though it wasn't good. And the Karlsson goal was that moment, a quick transition breakout, just kind of a seeing eye play where just all of a sudden, boom, they get down the ice real quick. And you'd like to see more of that. You'd like to see more than 14 high danger chances in 2 games. And, it's not you never flush the tape. I think flushing the tape is an overused terminology, but there's not a lot that Coach Cassidy and Co is going to say, okay, this is what we did well. Let's bottle this up and take it to the next one. So, yeah, I don't know. Just rough couple of games, I guess.
As you mentioned earlier. So that's hockey. Here we go. That's hockey. First time this season.
He used it.
He did. I did
against in the Tampa press.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to watch.
But he did, and he did with respect to Lindbaum playing a good game.
But I was getting seasick watching him the other day. He was swaying so much. Cassidy, whoa, careful, that the camera's sensitive. Okay, so VGK's Colton Sissons played only to the 7:15 mark in the first period. Came out lower body injury. Who goes to center on the 4th line? Is it going to be Howden? And also, will Noah Hannafin return on Tuesday? Is he even on the trip?
Who knows? And maybe keep an eye out for a Ron Beard call up now.
They'll get him cross country there, or maybe they had him.
They'll put him on a Spirit.
Okay. Coming up next, VGK signing of Carter Hart has drawn the ire I was looking for that word, but it's drawn the ire of fans and our very own Chris Golick, mostly in part to the fact that the Golden Knights social media has no mention of the 2-year, $2 million contract. That deal, our discussion next on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Hockey season is officially here, and nothing beats being in the arena for those opening games. But let's be real, getting tickets can be a total headache. You wait in that queue for a long time, surprise fees jump up, the prices jump up right before you go to the checkout stand, and it's easy to get frustrated, and all you want to do is cheer for your team. So that's where Gametime comes in. The app gives the fans a lot of options and the advantage. It's your ultimate life hack for scoring amazing NHL tickets fast, easy, and stress-free. I recently used Gametime to grab some seats, and could not have been simpler. I've got to tell you, it's really terrific. Over the summer, of course, I scored those really good tickets for the Monarch Toronto game here in January, and I got the seats in a matter of minutes, and everyone else was sleeping like the Golden Knights. They were just sleeping, and that's how I scored really good pricing. The zone deals are a game changer. You pick the section. Gametime picks your seats. You save big. And you know what? You can even find NHL tickets for under $25. So take a look. There's great values on there. Take the guesswork out of buying NHL tickets today with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account. Use that promo code LOCKEDONNHL, $20 off of your first purchase. Again, the promo code is LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. We are back. Tony Cardasco and Mr. Pumpkin Patch. We appreciate you making us your first.
We're going to a pumpkin patch tonight.
You're going tonight? I didn't know. No idea. Okay, tell us about the junior hockey game last night with the kiddos. And you showed, so who sets up all the lighting there in the locker room, and who let the dogs out? Dude, that's
the team is called the Ice Dogs, and I got a text from, I guess,
that's the best.
I coach two teams. We have like a tournament / kind of travel-ish team, and then we have a house team. And the manager, we have some kids on both teams. The manager of our tournament team is like, hey, we're going to bring some lights in for the Ice Dogs. That's our house team.
Tremendous.
And we're going to test this out for the weekend. I said, I'm not going to say what my text said. It involved a bad word that rhymed with the word hockey puck. But I said, yes, sounds fun. And that's what happened.
It was good. Great video there. The lack of communication from VGK's front office is really starting to get under the nerves of VGK fans, hockey fans in general, of course, and Chris Golick for the signing of Carter Hart. Now, again, this is something that we've said. It's a controversial deal, controversial player, and all along we've said VGK needs to get out in front of this. Well, they got way behind it. They got behind it. And we knew the Golden Knights would eventually give Carter Hart a contract, and they did. 2 years times $2 million. On brand, VGK sends out a news dump press release Friday around 5 o'clock, I think, in the afternoon. But still, as of this morning, nothing on VGK's social media platforms. My goodness. And on any of their tweets that they're sending out, Chris, fans are just, they're so upside down and irate.
I don't know if fans is the word I'd use, but yes, you're right.
Okay, so people that are on the app, let's say, and they just happen to see this, and well, I think they're hockey fans in general because they know enough about the situation.
For sure. I mean, listen, I'll start by saying I understand Cart's ability, I guess we can say it like that, to be employed, and I'm fine with Carter Hart being back in the NHL. I'm fine with the Golden Knights signing Carter Hart. That's a decision that the team made, and when it comes to player personnel, this team usually gets it right. They don't miss a whole lot. Even Robin Leonard, when things were going well, was a dynamite acquisition for the team, and then things unfortunately went south for him in his personal life. But again, I am okay with Carter Hart being a member of the Vegas Golden Knights. What I'm not okay with is the fact that it just feels like the Golden Knights just want this to go away. They're treating him differently as far as they put him out there in front of the media for 2.5 minutes during the PTO or something like that. Very quick to make sure that last question got hit pretty quickly. And okay, everyone done. Get away from Carter Hart. He's not here anymore. And then the moment the signing happened, how come the Golden Knights don't even acknowledge it? Like, it would have been nice if just in the very, very beginning, it would have been Carter Hart is here. We got the best player to help our team out. Don't give us that fluff statement about core values and everything, because I do question some of the core values of the team, not just with Carter Hart, but going way, way back to many players on this team and staff members. So I think from the very beginning, if you don't throw out a reporter who was known to be there asking questions about Carter Hart's, if you don't send out some fluff statement about core values when a lot of people question the core values, I'll put it nicely, and then all of a sudden, the moment it happens, the only way this is known is we have some local beat reporters starting to report this. And then the presser gets put out there. We signed Carter Hart's. And there's we haven't seen McCrimmon talk about this, McPhee, Foley, none of them has been there. And they've been around City National for the last, 2 weeks as this has been playing out. They're making Jack Eichel, and I guess making Eichel and Cassidy and Mark Stone answer for this.
Yeah. Right.
I'm okay with him on the team.
They put them in a bad position.
Let the front office do their job and handle and just answer for the roster.
Correct. I'm with you 110%. And November the 15th, now Carter Hart is going to be eligible to play for Henderson. Will he become a distraction? I think he will.
I think he already has. I think he already has. But distractions can be okay, though, Tony. Distractions can be okay.
Why? How?
Because distractions have a way of bringing people together and bringing the team together. Now, am I saying Carter Hart's situation is going to help the Golden Knights? Let's pump the brakes a little bit there. But sometimes distractions and just putting your head down and trying to avoid everything on the other side of the glass. And I think every game since Hart's been around, there's now signs been on the glass about different statements people are trying to make and protesting him being on the team. And the Silver Knights games will be interesting because not a lot of people at those games, and you could see a group of 100 or 200 people just coming in there and causing a stir for a while.
I told you HSK would be better. They're much better this year. They've got a lot of talent on there. 4 goalies though now for VGK in the organization. We're going to have to see who makes the cut. It's going to get very competitive.
Yeah, that's another topic, too, as far as what happens if all 3 goalies ever get healthy, which is always you never know in this town.
We definitely appreciate you tuning in, everyone, tuning in around the world. Thank you so much, especially our everydayers. And don't forget, on Tuesday, we'll have a preview of VGK versus the Canes number 2. Will there be a storm surge? For my man, Chris Golick, I am Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. And we'll see you again tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights.